Welcome to Reality Check. My name is Dan,
My name is Lucy.
and I still can't get the intro right, but that is fine. Um, this is Reality Check. We talk about our favorite reality shows. We are going to be covering more of Big Brother today. We just finished another week. Crazy that it's been 2 weeks since we started
Big
already.
brother.
Yeah. So, Lucy, you've made it 2 weeks now. What do you think of Big Brother?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, I definitely like it. I
Yeah.
definitely like it. It's a really interesting format,
Hmm.
and I do agree with what you were saying last episode about it being as opposite to Survivor as you can get, but still the same kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so different. I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice. Yeah. Glad you like it. Um, Yeah, so this week it's been a somewhat competitive season so far. Like they're playing. And fair warning, spoilers ahead. If you've not seen any of the past 3 episodes of Big Brother, there will be many
Then what are
spoilers.
you doing here?
Yeah. So I think we have to start by talking about Heisem. Heisem, yeah, he came into this game kind of like he's like, oh, I don't want to win too many competitions. I don't want to get in charge. I don't want to put a target on my back. All he has all the right ideas coming into this game. Um, but what did he do? He went on to win 3 competitions in a row. He won the first veto, then the second head of household competition, then the veto to go along with that. So, Lucy, what do you think of Heisem over the past week?
He's such a legend. I love him. So last week on our show, I was like, Heisem's one of my favorites. Like he's up there. He's definitely my favorite now. Like
Yeah.
he's he. I don't know why. I just find him so iconic. And normally I don't find 53-year-old men iconic. I mean 43-year-old men.
43,
I
yeah.
apologize. I misspoke. I misspoke.
He's not that old.
43-year-old men. Yeah, he's not that old, but like, normally the iconic ones are like, the young 25-year-olds or
Hmm.
something, and they're like, they're out here like, slay, slay. But Heisem is literally just breathing, and I'm like bowing at the altar of Heisem. My goodness me, this guy, because I've never seen Big Brother before, so I'm like, this guy is showing me exactly how to do it. And I'm well aware that it's probably not the smartest strategy to play such a big game so early, but
Hmm.
he's showing me the ways you can play the game,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
he's teaching me how you can play Big Brother, which is amazing. So we're learning from Heisem. I love that he's playing an honest game. And it's
Uh-huh.
like, on Survivor, people are like, I'm playing an honest game. And then they go behind people's backs. Heisem genuinely isn't doing
Tyson
that, from
is
what I've
playing
seen.
brutally honest so far, at
Yeah,
least.
a
Yeah.
bit too honest. Like he's not going around behind people's back and saying anything that he wouldn't say to their face. And
Yeah.
I love that for him.
Hmm.
And that's the thing. I feel like you get what you see with Heisem, and that's
Hmm.
something that's really good, I think. And like if I was in the Big Brother house, I would want to keep Heisem around because I know that if something changed, he would tell me.
Mm. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Now, I
I
agree
love
with you.
Heisem.
I
Oh, 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 oh.
Yeah, go
I
for it.
remembered something else. You mentioned while we were watching the episode, because Heisem popped up on the screen.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, Heisem! I had a dream with Heisem in
Yeah, tell us about your
it. And
dream. Well,
you were like, do you want to tell me now or do you want to tell me later? Later when we record this. And I was like, I'll do it on recording.
all right,
So
let's hear it.
Heisem was in my dream last night. Okay, so it started off, long story short, it started off with me and my friends Hudson and Rudy, and we were in the Formula One paddock at Silverstone. Now that's
Hmm.
not too relevant to the rest of the dream. What is relevant is that we then went down this like Super Mario, the green pipe.
Yep.
We went down that and we all got split up. And that's when there were like these giant lily pads. So, like there were stalks with lily pads on top. And each lily
Okay.
pad had a different Big Brother contestant on it. Can you
Oh.
tell this has been on my mind? Um, so the one that I climbed up happened to have Heisem, and he was like, "Great, you're on my team." I was like, "Okay, Heisem." So what we had to do is we had to take like 10 different items.
Okay.
Um, they were all scattered around the lily pad, and they were like carvings in the lily pad. We had to slot the shapes into the right spots,
Oh.
so that they'd fit. And there were some that looked like they'd fit, and then they wouldn't. It was like a puzzle, and we were trying really hard. Um, and I wasn't that quick, but then I worked out I was more used to Heisem by sabotaging everyone else. So
Oh,
while Heisem was putting the stuff together, because all the different items were themed around people's lives, so like they were all Heisem themed items.
okay.
Um, so I don't know how it was Heisem themed, but then one was like a courgette, and another it was like food. So like yeah, a
Okay.
courgette, and there was like a house with a weird pointy roof.
Hmm.
I don't know anything about Heisen. So I went around like sabotaging everyone else. And then Heisen won it. But then Heisen was getting like chased after by all the other contestants because he girl bossed a little too close to his son. Um, and then
Mm.
the whole game split in half, and what half of us were in one room and half of us were in the other room. You can kind of see where this is going. But then I realized I liked the people in the other room, so I was kind of sitting in between the rooms, and both sides thought I was on their side. And then
Ooh.
they chased me, and I
Oh
ran
no.
into the train that takes you between England and France, the Channel Tunnel
Okay.
train. I was going through there. And while I was going through there, someone like tied my legs together so I
Oh.
couldn't run. So I was like crawling, like doing the worm along the tunnel trying to get and then I woke up.
There we go. We've heard about OC's dream. Maybe this needs to become a regular segment. Um.
I
Anyways,
have
yeah.
quite intense and vivid dreams, guys.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So you like Heisem. I also like Heisem. He's cool. I feel
He's
like
the
the house
goat.
guests are starting to not like him as much though. He is
Yes.
being very honest, but they're catching on and he's getting caught up in his words. Even though he
I
speaks
I
like he's acting
understood.
like a godfather sort of thing. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I see the way he's going and it's like oh he's like in the mafia or something. Like yeah.
As he should.
Mm,
As
yeah.
he should.
Yeah. Um,
Heisem for the win, in my humble opinion.
I have fully enjoyed Heisem on TV and watching him, but I have a feeling he's not gonna be here too much longer, which is sad.
Yes.
But
Yes.
um, I'd love to
Which is
see
very
him.
sad, actually, because
Yeah.
my favorites are dropping like flies here. Because we
Oh
just
yeah,
lost
poor
Riley.
Riley. Let's talk about
Uh,
that. Yeah,
she
it's
did nothing wrong except telling Heisen to his face that she was targeting him.
that was pretty wrong though.
Nothing wrong besides
Like,
that.
yeah.
She's
That was just
innocent.
brutal. In this eviction
Oh,
episode, the Thursday episode, they they always try to sell that the other person is going, but it really looked like they were
yeah.
considering voting Cameron out over Riley for a bit there, and it always like looks like it, but like this genuinely seemed like it was something they could do, and I thought like, oh my gosh, are they gonna save Riley? They did
No.
not. They did not. It was a
I was so
12
sad.
to
It didn't
0.
make sense though. Because they were
Yeah.
like, oh, if we do this, it's like it's what Heis it would be a blindside on Heisem. And it's like
Mhm.
no matter who you vote, whether it's Riley or Cameron, you're taking out one of the opposition.
Mhm.
One of a handful.
So first of all, something. So I guess some more Big Brother information for you. Over the at least the
Okay.
past few seasons I've been watching since season 17, the first few votes have always tended to be unanimous because they don't want
That
to like
makes
stir up
sense.
anything. I don't agree with it
Why don't yeah, but why
because
don't
you
people
vote
just throw like
anonymously.
a chaos vote?
Oh,
Yeah.
sometimes they do. Yeah, you vote
But like what's to
anonymously.
stop people just going like, oh, it wasn't me.
Exactly. It's weird because sometimes, like every now and then, someone throws a rogue vote and they figure it out within the next episode. But I feel like it's not going to harm your game too much to vote differently. With that being said, I think there are two reasons why this vote was unanimous on Riley. Um, so first of all, we know the numbers were probably there if they wanted them to be to keep Riley. But if the numbers weren't there and like Jag in that group, they all vote Cameron, and then Riley goes anyways. Not only did they lose Riley, they just showed Cameron to his face that they preferred Riley, and that they didn't care if he went home, essentially. So that's one thing. If it failed and Riley still went home, obviously. If it did succeed and they sent Cameron, Heisen he's caught off guard there, but he like they said in the episode, I think Suri might have said it. It puts or was it Izzy? I don't know. It would put him on high alert, and he's gonna try really hard for any competition he gets in, and he's gonna play like full out. Whereas since Riley went unanimously, he is very comfortable, and if they want to backdoor him, they probably have a good chance of doing so without him being able to stop it. So there was definitely a reason to keep Cameron and vote out Riley. I just feel like the editors this episode went in really hard. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are they gonna do? Because that's kind of the tough part of the live eviction episode, in my opinion. It's like there's not much. They focus a lot on the eviction by giving us the build up of like, oh, who's gonna go, when half the time the build up doesn't mean anything, and we know who's getting evicted already.
Yeah. I agree, because it's like both times so far it's been very obvious who's going to go before starting the episode. It's not like, oh, it's, in Survivor when it's like they're going to go to Tribal, it's kind of like, oh, this could happen, or this could happen, or maybe even this could happen.
Yeah, what's nice with Survivor in that is like, it all happens in one episode. They're not spending a whole episode just talking about, okay, who are we going to vote off? And with Big Brother, I feel like, it's hard, like, they have a whole, like, 3-4 days of stuff to include. But I feel like they could include less about, like, the eviction and more about what happened during that week. I don't really know.
Yeah. It would even if they did, because the episodes are like, how long are the episodes?
And 43 minutes with commercials, so 40 minutes or so.
If we did a bit more, 90 minutes including commercials. But only 2 episodes a week. One is the head of household, and one is the veto with the voting.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be a lot more,
Yeah,
I think that would work.
Yeah, it would work. I feel like for Thursdays, if they wanted, they could also do... because every now and then they'll start the head of household competition during the episode, or they'll do it. I feel like if they wanted to do more live head of household stuff, that would be cool. And we don't, or even more content in the eviction interview. Like, I'd love to hear from Riley a bit more, rather than the half. Like, it was pretty much like 80% of this episode was all like, will they vote off Riley or will they vote off Cameron? Only for them to do exactly as we expected, to vote out Riley.
Yeah. And then when they get eliminated, all we really hear from them is the house is split in 2, and it's we know that, love. I want to hear, like, what were you and Matt talking about? Like,
exactly.
What was the relationship with Heisem like? We want the juicy gossip.
Yeah. And they released the full interviews. Like, Julie talks about it, but it would be nice to get a little more in the actual episode. Yeah. Something else with the eviction interviews, Julie really loves to talk about the whole Jared Suri thing, which is fair. It's one of the big twists right now. But
it was funny seeing Riley's reaction to
But speaking of relationships in the game,
she was shook.
Was it Cameron?
Not her going straight to Blue and
Blue and Jared, yeah.
Yeah.
She was thinking they were a showmance or something, and maybe we'll see more of that. But, speaking of in-game relationships, Cameron had a funny one that he had a prediction.
With whom?
Well, he didn't have it. He was telling Jared about this. Remember? He went to Jared and he's like, "Oh
yeah,
I think there's a relation. I think there's someone related to someone in the game." And Jared's like freaking out, like, "Oh my gosh!"
Jared's like,
And Cameron's like, "I think Felicia is related to Denzel Washington." Which I don't know well enough who I know he's like an actor or something. I haven't seen much of his
I'm
stuff,
gonna Google him while you talk.
But
going to find
she's not related to Denzel Washington. And obviously we know it because they would tell us if she was.
Yeah.
But that was a funny thing. Which, you're only in the house with no resources whatsoever. It's not the craziest thing to think.
I'm not really seeing it.
You're not seeing it?
Pictures. I'm not, but I can kind of see it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of got the facial expression of looking, like, mildly irritated with everyone, but that's really all the similarity.
if
I don't
they
know.
if they were stood together and they said that they're related, I wouldn't like immediately say no, you're lying. But yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't just think that. Um,
It's
of
so
course.
funny as well because the fact that he's thinking that way of thinking who might be related to who and
Mhm.
has not caught on to the actual related
Yeah.
pair.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he'd said Suri, like, was
Oh.
related to someone else? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he could have though.
Yeah. I don't.
Or if it'd been the
I
other
don't
way
know.
around, if he'd gone to Suri and talked about Jared being related to someone else, because I think we
Yeah.
know Suri's not.
Hmm. Yeah.
But imagine
That
that,
would
like,
be. Yeah. Speaking of the whole Jared Sari thing, I'm starting to
yeah,
think they could have just popped Suri in the house, and I don't think she would have needed. It's definitely very helpful for her to have Jared, but honestly, I think she would have done pretty well without him too. I'm surprised
yeah,
she's not being talked about as a target much, at all in the game, which is cool. Like,
I
I imagine
guess,
not a lot of them watch Survivor. Um.
yeah. But I guess a lot of it is like there were bigger reasons to go for other people.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Like,
And
the lady who was voted out first, whose name I've forgotten
Kirsten.
again. Kirsten, yeah. She got, let's say, caught in a lie, which
Hmm.
I have a lot to say about Kirsten's
She
vote
got
out. Eviction.
she
There we
just
go.
had a lot of bad stuff, like
She
wrong
got
place, wrong
very
time.
unlucky.
If there was a second
Yeah,
chance this season,
she
she would
deserves it,
deserve a
for
spot.
sure.
Same with
Her and
Riley.
Maddie from Survivor 44.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah. Good
queen's
old
wrong
Maddie.
place at the wrong time.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but and then Riley with the whole Heisem target, it was
Hmm.
kind of like, yeah, I don't think Riley did anything wrong again, but
If
besides mentioning to
yeah,
Heisem,
if the way they say it is everything true, like Riley should have kept her mouth shut about the whole Heisen thing.
yeah.
And but even then,
But
she
that's
was
the
head of
thing,
household.
Heisem was here like Riley has split this house in half, and it's like Riley just
Yeah.
breathed. She didn't do anything.
Exactly. That's where Heisen's getting a little like he's got a great personality and I've loved watching him,
He's
but
just a. I know I can understand with Heisem because he wasn't there for all of it because he was brought in as one of the
mhm.
spares.
Yeah.
Because like it was like he just spawned in the house and
Mhm.
like the alliances were just there and he was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like
From his
they just came to
perspective,
him
it
and
can
were
make
like, yeah, there's
sense.
a 7-person alliance and you're not in it.
Mm.
And
That
Riley's
is
name was
yeah.
in that 7. So he was like,
Mhm.
oh heck, we're making alliances now. Like he was kind of
Yeah.
almost blindsided by the fact that all of a sudden the house is in 2. So he probably out of everyone has the least information of what actually went on.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's all I'm saying. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. He's so to him it is the genuine truth.
Mhm.
Just because he's not seen anything to tell him otherwise.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's hard to say who formed an alliance like that. Like
You know what? If anyone's responsible for it, I'm not gonna say the handfuls. I'm gonna say
Jared.
Jared. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've a combination of Jared, Sari, and Felicia.
Mhm.
Because the 3 of them, like Felicia walking into that room and like kind of
Mhm.
spotting what was going on, and then going to I
She
forget
went
how
to
it happened, but
Suri.
Jared and Suri then also kind of yes,
So
she
what
went to Suri.
happened
Jared then also went to Suri and
with
confirmed it.
Jared? He was brought into that alliance, and
Yeah,
that's just kind of it's not their fault that they brought in the double agent, but they did, and
yeah.
he went and told. So, oh, something else. Speaking of all that with Jared and stuff, first of all, do you have anything else you wanted to add with this whole alliance division and creation?
No, just justice for Heisem. Really,
Yeah,
he did nothing wrong.
Heisen let the power get to his head a bit this week, in my opinion.
Yes, he
But
did. But is that a crime? Is that a crime? He's won 3 out of 4
honestly, he wasn't
competitions.
like
Okay.
rude or bullying about it, so I appreciate that. But he definitely let
Yeah,
it get to his head.
and he was always nice to Riley. He was
Generally,
respectful, and he left a nice message to Riley.
yeah,
I'm a big Heisem defender here. Okay,
yeah. No, and that's fine. I also really like
Heisem and
Heisen.
Matt, my boys,
Ah, good old Matt. Yeah.
and Riley, rest in peace.
But yeah, what I want to talk about with Jared and the twist this week was sending people to the Nether region. Um, and the nominations came around, and Jared had the power to choose someone to be safe, and of course Jared's in the middle, so he has to just kind of stick in the middle and not do anything that
Yeah. I
would
think he
shake
made
it
the
up.
right decision.
I think, yeah, if he chooses Riley, he probably goes up on the block, I imagine.
Yeah. That's the thing. He
Um,
was looking out for himself.
yeah. So I
And
have
that
no
is
issue with his
not
decisions.
yeah. I think again, like Jared and then Jag
Jag,
both
yep.
made the same decision
They
I
made
would
good
have, like
decisions for
especially
their
with
game.
yeah.
Yep.
And Bowie Jink, we talk about that. Like she was
Yeah.
kind of under the radar for me, and now I love her
Yeah.
because that was so smart of her to volunteer so that her stronger alliance members would still
Oh
be
yeah,
eligible to
that
play.
was. But you know what
Yeah.
sucked?
What?
She would have loved that veto competition.
She would have.
She's like
She
a
would have.
part-time
You're so
DJ.
right.
Like that
She
would
literally
she,
is. Oh my
like
gosh. But she
yeah.
could not have known that.
No, she wouldn't have known, but like
that did not occur to me.
she would have loved that in every way.
Poor BJ.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, they're all very
Yeah,
smart
sorry.
decisions there. Heisem was a little pissed at Jag for not just choosing blue, but really it worked out. Heisem dominated the veto competition. Which, yeah. What did you think of the head of household competition? I want to hear your thoughts about it.
Which one
The running
was that
around.
again?
It was like they gave a clue about where to go. It was like the supposed to be scary one. Hide behind the
Oh.
car or in the chainsaw room or something like
It's
that.
supposed to be scary? Are you
Yeah.
saying it wasn't scary? 'Cause that was scary.
It was just like a lot of Big Brother. It was pretty cheesy in my opinion, but
I was scared. Yeah,
I feel like if I
mean,
was there, I'd be a bit startled. Like just even though you know it's for a show, like just seeing that weird guy coming up.
It was the voice. It was all a bit loud and startling.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the challenge. I think it was a really, really cool concept.
Mhm.
My main concern actually was that it didn't go on for long enough. I think I preferred they did it as more rounds, each taking less time.
Okay.
Where it was
Interesting,
like, yeah, I don't know quite how they would have done that, but maybe something like they had a whole list of things, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a list of maybe 5 clues, and it says like clue number 4 is true. Clue number 3 is not true.
Oh, yeah, that could be interesting.
Or something like that. And then they all had to run, and maybe only 1 or 2 people would go out each time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would. I don't know. It was just. It wasn't a great competition.
It felt like
in my
each
opinion.
round dragged on a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't actually get to see enough of the juicy bit. And Jared, can we talk about Jared? The clownery that was. He found the carving early, and then he found the second carving and was like, so he found the one that said like choose the door. And
he found like choose the door, 4. And then he said the number 4 or something like that.
Yeah,
but he missed the key sign. Yeah, both of them had 4, and there was a key sign that said it doesn't start with 4. So, yeah, I forgot what exactly. But not only that, Jared should not have been trying to win that head of household competition, in my opinion. Like that would have been so bad for him because he's doing the whole thing where he's with both alliances. Like he's the double agent.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I love Jared. I do not think he's a strategic mastermind.
He is not. He's not as good as Suri.
He's very likable, which is great. But like, yeah, I think his mom does the heavy lifting there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But he was good with his decision not to send Riley in, though. That was very good. But again, I think he did consult with Suri for that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Two things I'll say for that. Well, I think it might just be. I think I forgot one thing already. But this is his first time doing any reality show, whereas this is Suri's 5th time on a show. And
wow.
She's played 4 times on Survivor. In 3 of them, she made at least like the top 6. And that's like a solid 90 plus days of playing Survivor. Along with...
Is she officially like the longest surviving Survivor player? Or like... have people played...
I couldn't confidently say that. I think there might be a few more. It might be close, but
Right.
she's pretty darn consistent. Um, she was great on Survivor, and she's doing very well on Big Brother. Um, but yeah, so she has more experience than Jared is the main thing. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about? We're only like 25 minutes in right now, so we don't have to go much longer. But
yeah, let's talk about Heisem. No, I'm kidding. There was someone else I did want to talk about. Oh yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in Big Brother, I'm not gonna lie, because the head of household and the veto were both like very auditory challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can understand maybe if they threw a few in, like obviously they don't need to change every single challenge to
Just for Matt.
suit his needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right at the beginning when you know he's very likely to still be in the game at that point. Maybe like, final 5 or something, you can understand them putting it in thinking, oh, he might not be there anyway. But like right at the start, you know he's gonna be there. Why would you make not just 1 but 2 in a row be like, listen to this? So I'm very impressed that Matt managed to do so well.
Yeah,
I think I talked to you about it after the head of household. I think they gave him a script for that one. Which is completely fine, and I think you said that. Oh no, I googled it.
Oh, okay.
I went on Twitter to check because I was so mad. I was like, they better not have screwed him. I'm looking out for my boy Matt. But then the other one, like, yeah, he clearly just did his best with that one. I was so worried when I saw what the challenge was. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And there was way. Turns out the thing that slowed him down was actually his eyes.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't see the piano.
I'm confused as to how deaf he is. Like, is he fully deaf, or does he have like a hearing aid, or like because he can hear sometimes. It seems like sometimes, but
oh my god, sorry, I just choked on my water.
Oh,
so like I haven't looked too much, but from what I've seen on the show, I think he does have hearing aids.
Okay.
Just behind his ear. I'm pretty sure I noticed that.
Okay.
And you can be deaf but not fully deaf.
Yeah, like, I thought so.
From what I know about the deaf community is that there's deaf with a capital D and deaf with a lowercase d. And the difference being deaf is like fully not able to hear, and other deaf is like, hard of hearing.
Yeah.
And they call that HOH, which is not head of household. Yeah.
Interesting.
I really, if he does get head of household, I hope he makes that joke, because that's going to be funny. But I'm not sure if enough people would get that. I'd get that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So obviously he does have hearing issues, but he's not fully deaf. He can hear some things.
All right.
As he mentioned,
least
he
as far
relies
as we
mostly
know.
on lip reading. Yes. Well, good, because he'd have to hear something.
I imagine, yeah.
Because like there's been moments where he's hugged people, and they've been talking to him while they're hugging.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
you're right. Yeah, he definitely can hear some.
So yeah, I think he said he was deaf, so I'd assume that means the deaf with a lowercase d.
Okay.
But there we go. I'll have to learn more. I find it really interesting because like my dad is deaf in one ear, like deaf with a capital D deaf. Did you not know that?
No, I think I did know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's interesting to me, and I've always wanted to learn sign language because why not?
Yeah.
I love accessibility. Sorry, carry on. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Include everyone.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about this week, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Good, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The garden area.
Yeah?
Is there a roof on that?
I don't think so.
Do they get fresh air?
Yes, they get fresh air. I don't believe there's a roof there.
I was gonna say.
Because every now and then there would be like a plane flying over, or like someone would pay a plane to send a message. I don't know if they can do that anymore, but like.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, they get fresh air, I believe.
Well, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Reality Check.
We have truly checked in on reality.
Yeah, we've checked reality. New episodes every Saturday at 5 p.m. Central Time. So yeah, thanks for listening, and see you next time.